Mike Tyson. You're next, big boy. Sign the contract. November 15th on Netflix. I'm excited for that one. I'm going to go home, prepare for that.
So many people, even the Saudi chief, got on social media and said, Mike, forget the script. Beat this.
Looking like the Saudi chief of sports and entertainment Turki Alalshikh has finally given his verdict on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. His Excellency has sent a strong warning to Paul that he needs to cancel the fight right now, or else he's going to make sure that Iron Mike ends his boxing career in a ring on fight night. Now, obviously, Paul ain't too excited with Audis interfering and trying to put an end to his fight, and has made it clear that he's not going to back off from this fight. In fact, he seems more determined than ever to fight Mike Tyson, and even made some shocking statements about this fight and his future plans after fighting the boxing legend.
You win to Mike Tyson and knock out Mike Tyson.
They're just going to say he's old and you disrespected him and all this. I just want to make it clear that Mike Tyson was the one who wanted it to be a pro fight. Mike got into training camp, called up people on my team, and we're like, let's do a pro fight. Is Jake down? Netflix was like, let's make it a pro fight. We're down. But make sure you tell Mike that there's no holding back. Whatever happens, happens. And this is war.
So Jack Paul made it clear that he wasn't the one who initiated negotiations for this epic showdown. Mike Tyson wanted this fight, which is why he accepted the offer. He also declared that the fight with Mike Tyson was a war and nothing's going to force him to back down from this fight now. That's a clear message to Turkey that his desperate attempts to cancel this fight won't work, and they'll have to see this fight go ahead as planned. The Saudi chief seems to have accepted the fact that neither Paul nor Iron Mike is going to back down from this fight. In a recent interview with Ariel Heleni, he had a heartfelt message for his brother Mike Tyson. He also expressed his anger at Netflix for wanting this fight to take place. Al-Sheikh exposed some shocking details about Netflix's intentions to gift the boxing legend and expressed grave concerns for Iron Mike's health and career. He hoped that the boxing legend was being paid handsomely for this fight, because if not, this fight wasn't worth happening in his opinion.
Like Netflix more than us.
Nah, although I do like Netflix, I'm not going to lie. Netflix is a pretty great platform, and that's a great opportunity. I saw you tweet about that. You told Mike to forget the script and to beat up Jake Paul. Why did you tweet that?
See, Mike I look for him. I have a long relationship with him, and I look for him as a brother. I hope Netflix pay for him good money to do this thing. This is my answer.
But you are rooting for him. You want him to beat Jake Paul.
Of course, I want him to be. See, first of all, I'm a boxing fan. And you know me, you talk with me a lot. And you know my opinion about the boxing fight. And who must be doing boxing fight. Mike is 57, 58. If he fight, I prefer to be exhibition fight, not real fights, because the health issue is concerning me. And what is the useful of fight like this for the boxing fans? Netflix have the money. If they have the money, do big fight with real fighters for now. For that, as from the beginning I said to you, Mike is my brother, and I hope Netflix pay for him good money.
Al-Sheikh ain't got anything bad to say about Jake Paul's intentions to fight Mike Tyson. His anger is mostly directed at Netflix, who had surprisingly decided to make his foray into boxing with such an unusual yet epic showdown. He probably sees Netflix as a threat to his own boxing ambitions and probably wouldn't hesitate to make this fight himself if he had the chance. While he didn't share his thoughts clearly on Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, the rest of the boxing world did. In an older interaction, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn had this to say about Paul's champ of becoming a future boxing world champion.
Your reaction to Jake saying he will become a world champion?
Everyone's entitled to have a dream. No, seriously, I'm being serious. I think there's absolutely no way he can beat a world champion and become world champion. But I will say he's improving a lot. He's dedicated to the sport. I don't know how good he is because he hasn't really faced a real fighter yet. It's not his fault. He signed to fight Tommy Fury.
A five-time world champion in Tyron Woodley's a real fighter.
Mate, he's not a real boxer. He's not, Jake.
Well, I mean, the first skill in MMA is boxing. He won the UFC championship with a right hand.
He's a great UFC
fighter. But you consider Tommy Fury a real boxer?
Yes, but I'm not in terms of ability. But listen, but Tyron
so what defines a real boxer?
A real boxer is someone that is his
journeyman
craft.
like Andy Bishop who have.
Who's Andy Bishop?
Exactly, but he's a real boxer, right?
Yeah, but
because anyone can go and get a professional.
Okay,
boxing
but what I'm saying
license.
is Usman does not qualify to give you any right to talk about you fighting for a world title, and nor does Tommy Fury actually. But I give you the props, I give you the respect. You're improving all the time, but the proof will be in the pudding. I don't believe. By the way, I've said that I think Jake Paul is better than some fighters, but I don't believe you will ever get close to being a world-class fighter.
I believe that I would beat anybody on your roster that's under 10 fights. Anyone.
We can do that.
Any one of your fighters that has under 10 fights. Easy.
Okay.
So
a cruiserweight?
Literally any weight.
Okay. So
any weight.
Any weight.
Any
anyone
weight.
under 10.
Any weight. I will
I've
beat
got
anybody on your roster.
I've got about 400 of them.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Let's run it up.
Chef
No
Clark.
problem.
Chef
Give me your best real boxer.
Okay. Chef Clark.
Give me your best real boxer.
Chef Clark, 1-0, right? Boxed in the Olympics, didn't medal. 1-0, just had one professional fight. He's a cruiserweight. You can have him, and I'll tell you what, I'll even provide him. Well, actually, let me be careful on the price.
I don't know.
No, but I'm telling you, I've got 5.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
okay,
No problem.
okay.
I already said I'm down. We're betting $1 million. I'm taking on anyone on your roster with under 10 fights. No problem. And that's right now too. Just wait to just give me a couple of years, bro. Ooh, I'm coming for your boy Canelo.
Yeah.
I'm coming for your boy Canelo.
Okay.
That's on God.
Look, I don't think he minds that fight. You know.
He didn't say no.
No, I know.
Canelo didn't say no to a fight with him.
Well, why would he not? That's the biggest. That's one of the biggest fights in boxing that can be made.
Payday.
So these two had some interesting conversation, and Hearn was brutally honest with Paul.
These two had some interesting conversation, and Hearn was brutally honest with Paul. Now Paul, meanwhile, challenged him that he was going to prove himself in a couple of years, and here he is now about to fight the legend of boxing himself, Mike Tyson. Boxing trainer Teddy Atlas also shared his thoughts on Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson. Atlas has immense experience having trained Iron Mike in the past, and therefore he's the perfect expert to share his opinions on this fight in his extensive analysis. On his fight, Atlas began by surprisingly praising Paul for having the guts to take on Iron Mike. However, he quickly changed his demeanor as he analyzed Tyson skills and abilities, put out that he still has it in him, and nearly 60 years old at that. Atlas also explained the complex scenarios both fighters find themselves in if they win or lose this fight. Now, he made some interesting observations and had some interesting opinions on both fighters.
Listens to the show knows that I give my props to Paul because he came from YouTube, 20 million followers, whatever. He had a vision that he was going to get into boxing, and he acted on that vision. He said, I got to get a trainer. I think he's been to a couple trainers now. He said, I got to get a trainer. I got to learn the sport. I got to work. I got to respect the sport, and he did. And he picked his opponents as carefully as he could. But he fought some, UFC former champs that were older. They fought at a smaller weight. He always had an edge. The same way Canelo has an edge because Canelo's the golden goose. Canelo brings the money, so he gets an edge to get things in his favor a little bit because he's the one who butters everyone's bread. Well, Paul is the one bringing the money, doing the promotion. So, yes, he gets the advantage of picking who he wants to, picking the music for the songs. So, look, we understand all that. This is where I'm going to throw people a curveball. First of all, he's actually fighting a guy who finally, I know he's much older than him, but is naturally the bigger guy. Because Paul fights at about cruiserweight, 190. So this guy's naturally the bigger guy. He's fighting a legendary, iconic fighter. A guy who was one of the greatest punchers in heavyweight history, one of the greatest punchers ever with either hand, and one of the greatest combinations of speed and power. Yeah, he's 58 years old. Yeah, the end of his career wasn't too good before he got out. But one of the last things that go with a fighter is his power.
Yep.
I think this is a very dangerous fight for Paul.
Interesting.
I think he might be making a mistake. Because first of all, for me, he don't got a lot other than money, and he's made plenty of money. There's not a lot to winning on his side, because if he wins, they say he's 58 years old.
Yep.
You know,
that's right.
and if he loses, they say he's 58 years old. You lost to a 58-year-old guy. For me, he's got a lot more to lose than Tyson.
Oh, for sure.
A lot more. I mean, Tyson, you know, whatever they're paying him, he's been making good money. You know, he's come back, like I said, in his life. He's done a good job. Him and the people around him. I guess his wife is part of that, obviously, where they've done a good job to get him on the track they've gotten him on. And he seems to be in a good place in all ways. You know, I know at one point he owed the government and everything. He seems to be well past that. That's in his rearview mirror.
Yep.
Where he's made plenty of money again in his career. But there's nothing to lose for Tyson. If he wins, like, he's even bigger than, you know, in some way, wow, people are going to thank him. Thank you for ending this charade, they're going to say. Thank you for teaching this guy that you're either a fighter or you're not a fighter. You can't go from being a YouTuber to being a fighter. For the people that believe that feel that way, that don't like Paul, they're gonna prop up Tyson even higher and say, thanks for teaching these guys a lesson. You know, don't come into your business. Don't come into boxing if you weren't a boxer, if you didn't pay your dues from the beginning. All that stuff, which I don't think is fair completely. But I get it. A lot of people feel that way about Joshua, that they're thankful. And I get that. I even brought it up, that he helped the sport of boxing. He stood up for the sport of boxing by knocking out Ngannou, an MMA fighter. Again, showing that, hey, MMA fighter, as talented as he was, if you're going to fight in a boxing ring with only boxing ring, not MMA rules, but only boxing rules, a top fighter is going to beat.
Teddy Atlas probably made the best analysis on his six, however. He wasn't the only one who shared his thoughts here. Other pro boxers and experts also shared their opinions and predictions for this bout.
Hey. Real quick, everyone wants to know your take, man. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, who you got?
No, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson all day, you're the man.
And Tyson, I don't care who you are, nobody's above Father Time. Tyson's what, like 6 years old, I think?
Tyson is 57.
57.
And Jake Paul is 27.
Yeah, you know, man, that you know, no matter how much of an athlete and mean Tyson was in his prime, this is way past his prime. So I just don't know how much of Tyson is left, you know? All these heavyweights that Tyson's been fighting, those shots just don't go away, you know? He's gotten hit by some of the hardest hitters that ever walked planet Earth, dead square on the jaw. So that only gets worse with time, you know? So could Jake beat him? Yeah. But is that Mike Tyson? No, it's not Mike Tyson. We all know who Mike Tyson is. But obviously he's not fighting Mike Tyson. He's fighting the shuttle Mike Tyson. I don't know, man. Maybe I overthink things like this in this matter too much, but there's too much.
So this is a lose-lose for Jake Paul. You can't go out there and potentially beat up Uncle Mike, the guy that's so loved by the world. You don't get no cool points for that. Let's say you go in there and you do beat up Uncle Mike. So you think now people are gonna respect you. Oh, Jake Paul, yeah, you beat Mike Tyson, 58-year-old Mike Tyson. No, you're not gonna get the respect for that. In fact, I think it'd actually be worse. People might hate you more because it's Uncle Mike. Everyone loves Uncle Mike. But on the flip side, you go out there and you get put to sleep, which is a possibility because Uncle Mike still has that punching power. He's still ferocious and he will still come at you. You go out there and get put to sleep. Let's just go ahead and sign the death certificate of your career. There's no more career after that.
I got Mike Tyson.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't see how Jake pulls this off. I see Mike Tyson punching him in the body, and I don't see how Jake stops that. Jake is not of the size to give Mike a problem. Mike can be, you know, big guys would hold Mike. Guys with long reach that outweigh him.
Yeah.
I think people that's Mike's weight, with Mike's center of gravity, I don't think there's anything that's gonna stop him. Mike hits him in the body don't move that much. I don't see how Jake survives a body attack, personally.
Okay, I looked it up. Mike Tyson is 220 pounds.
That's 1 pound less than his optimal weight.
And Jake Paul is about 200 pounds. You've got about 20 pound
Are
difference.
you kidding me? He's only 200?
Yeah.
Oh, gee. It's worse than I thought.
That was his last fight. That's what he weighed in as.
Yeah. Oh, boy. That means, he fought Tommy Fury he was 200 pounds when he fought Tommy Fury?
6'1". Mike is what, 5'10"? Let me see.
Huh. He's 6'1".
5'10", yeah. 5'10". So he got 3 inches on him.
I know.
3 inches for Mike Tyson's not a big deal, obviously. But Tyson is 57. And okay.
I don't care.
There's multiple things that come to mind. Number one, it's Mike freaking Tyson against Jake Paul. There's like a 30-year gap between them. So that's interesting. Number two, it's at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. That's like 80,000. That's where the Dallas Cowboys play, for those that don't know. Like, that's a gigantic stadium, one of the biggest stadiums in the world. So that's a huge deal. That's not just some arena. And number three, it's on Netflix. And this is Netflix's first foray into, live combat sports. Of course, a few weeks ago, they broke massive news when they signed the deal with WWE, and we all thought that was going to start in January of 2025. Now here we get this on July 20th. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to have their say. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be upset about this. I see KSI tweeting about it, and some people seem to love it, some people seem to hate it. But one thing about Jake, he knows how to create headlines, and I have a feeling he had this in his back pocket leading up to that Ryan Borland fight.
Honey, what do you think of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? That fight just got announced. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
They're gonna fight, huh?
Yeah, they're gonna fight. Do you think Jake Paul can beat Mike Tyson?
The boxing world don't see Jake Paul having much of a chance against Zon Mike. While some believe this could be a close fight, most agree that Iron Mike is going to win it. Fans also shared the reaction to the showdown on social media. Mike Tyson has been regularly reminding fans of his boxing return, and many fans have been reacted to it. And one of his latest reminders for the fight fans shared their opinions. One user wrote, "I still hate this. Fight man, I know you're both down, but this is a lose. Lose I've been rocking with Mike's whole career, no disrespect to either men involved. I just don't want to see this fight." Another user said, "I won't watch this, it's a stupid circus show." A third user joked, "I'll be too old to watch it by the time it actually happens now. Honestly, we're really hoping that this actually goes down on November 15th. It'll be a great way to end the year with an epic fight in the Combat High." What are your thoughts on all of this? Man, y'all think that this should go down, and who's going to win if it does, Paul or Tyson? Make sure you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.